Hi everybody, namaste. May is coming. Okay, hi, namaste everyone. My name is Panasthi Vora and I'm the co-founder of the Creative Toli. So let me tell you a bit more about the Creative Toli. The Creative Toli is a Desi industry network for creative freelancers to collaborate with creative peers and clients on work projects, passion projects, and just create as an industry. Uh, it is basically a place for all sorts of creative professionals to learn, earn, work, and grow from anywhere. So, without further ado, let me get May on board. I can see her. Um, yes, she is the founder of India's first indie music podcast, Made in India. She also has an extensive background in journalism and she was also radio jockey for Radio One. Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Good. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm all ready to go.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So, yeah, May, would you like to tell us a bit more about yourself? And
Yeah, a good introduction. Yes, I have been, I started out actually as a radio journalist. I've always been, I don't know why, I've always kind of been interested in the audio medium in general, which is why I think I've just stayed in it for most of my career. I Actually, I have like this like story that I tell people, and it's totally true. I don't know if like a lot of people know about this, but the moment when radio became a thing for me, because I think I always wanted to be in the media somehow. And being a journalist was something that I felt like was really important to me. But there was a moment during like the Bombay floods that had happened, and nothing worked. Like there was no internet, no TV, no electricity, no nothing. And the only thing that worked was my mom's battery powered radio. And, that was it. And like someone somewhere was broadcasting at that exact time. And I suddenly was like, wow. So if the apocalypse hit, I still have a job in radio. Right.
oh,
So yeah,
wow.
that was like in my head. That's kind of like where I went, and yeah, and then I kind of always stuck with radio. Really enjoyed it, and it was something that I felt there was like an immediacy to radio, and like I could just literally be at a table with this desk and like push up a fader, and then I'm like live on air. There's like a real buzz to being on like live on radio. And so I kind of stayed in the radio business till some years ago, and I kind of moved. So I left radio because I felt a little jaded by it. I felt quite restricted, like with radio in India, and I think it's quite limiting here because there's so many restrictions on radio. And then yeah, I got approached to make a podcast, and I came up with it. I was actually going to do two different shows I was thinking about because I'm a huge film nerd. So it's either going to be a film show or it's going to be like an indie music show. So I had like two
Oh,
different, yeah. But then it Made in
oh,
India ended up being a music show, and that's kind of like how it came. Like that's how Made in India came about. And you've known me since like my radio days. So,
yeah.
Made in India, the name came up super randomly. It came up because uh, there was, so I did a request show, right? You've requested so many songs. I played so many of your songs, Ministry. So,
Guilty.
so only every hour there must be One Direction
Oh, no.
on the hour, literally. But yeah, so what happened was when I used to play people's requests on the radio, and I played someone's request, and this guy started a hashtag called "Hey May, thanks for playing my request." Hashtag made my day, and so he started this
Right.
hashtag that was like amazing. And I was like, I'm going to take that and use it. And so that's how the name Made in India came about because this guy had made this hashtag that I remembered, and like boom, it like
Oh,
happened. So
wow.
yeah, that's how Made in
That's
India came about.
crazy.
And now, like, I kind of like went independent. I'm kind of making podcasts on my own. I'm working with creators and platforms to make like podcast with them. So that's kind of like where I'm at right
That's,
now. Yeah.
oh wow, that's awesome. Oh, I think you're live. Okay, you're back.
Hey, sorry. I just
Yeah.
like, I'm still
So
here.
that Uh, okay, so that's really interesting. Like your whole like story from radio to like
Yeah.
podcasting, very cool. But before we like properly start, I want to just
Mm.
ask the audience this question. So, guys, do you all know that we've titled this episode "Mae Thomas and the Music Makers"? So, if anybody in the
So
audience
tough.
knows why, if
So tough.
anyone knows why or the significance of it, do let us
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll let everybody know in like another 10 seconds or in a while, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys know why this
It's
is, it's some
brutal.
really interesting music trivia. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Should I just say it? I don't know if anyone knows
You
it or.
should. I think you should. This
Okay.
is like a really
Oh
tough
my
one.
God, we have Easy Wanderlings here. I am such a big
Oh,
fan.
I'm a fan of Easy
Hi
Wonderlings
guys.
too. Love you guys.
Wow. Okay, so the reason we named this episode Mae Thomas and the Music Makers is because of the resemblance it has to the name John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. So John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, like the band started in the 1960s, and
Yeah.
he has given a break to so many of our famous blues artists that we
Yeah.
know now, like people like Eric Clapton, Peter Green, Mick Taylor, I mean,
Yeah.
like you name it. So, the similar way you are like giving such a great platform
Yeah.
and such a big break to so many indie musicians. So we thought it's
Thank
only fair
you.
to to uh, to
Man.
put the title as this because yeah, so we wanted to sort of make it special.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some
So
fun people.
okay.
My mom's just joined. Hi, Ma.
Oh, we have Raghav Miyatul's here. Hi, the Skarshini Nayar's
Hello.
here. Hello.
My music peeps are here.
Yeah.
Schubert.
Um,
Sound and Store Schubert. Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
okay. So let's get on to the first question.
Hmm.
Uh, so, uh, so what? So now that we spoke about how Made in India was born
Yeah.
and all of that, so Made in India is a podcast, and like India has seen such a sudden boom in podcasting, and in these past few years. So like, what do you think the future of podcasting is in India? And do
Yeah.
you have any advice for people who want to start their own podcast? And people are really getting into that now.
Sure.
So
So you know what? Honestly, I think we're in a really weird time right now. So I think everyone's a little apprehensive to predict the future because we barely know what's
right,
gonna happen next week, let alone like
that's
six
true.
months from now. But I have to say that with podcasting, I mean, for me, it's been like a really exciting medium to work in. I think just understanding how, I mean, right now, you think that because no one's commuting, that no one's going to be listening to podcasts, but it's like there's been like a switch. More people are listening to us on the weekends when weekends were like downtime for us. And like
Right,
I listen to podcasts in the morning. Like even if I'm not on my commute, I try to listen to something. I'm listening to more podcasts on the weekend. So it's really interesting how just trends have completely like changed. And
right,
I think no one's because there's a difference between podcasting, right, and watching video. Like you have to have active screen time. So I can literally listen to a podcast while I'm, you know, doing my business in the toilet or while I'm,
yeah,
cooking, while I'm cleaning, while
that's
I just
true.
leave something on. So I think that podcasting is just something that you can listen to or consume at like times when you're actively doing something else. It also, listening to something is so different from like, we're anyway like experiencing so much screen time. Like, this is screen time for all of us now. And so I think that
Right,
with podcasting, it's totally different. And I really enjoy that medium. I really enjoy that people can sort of like actively and passively listen to it. And for what happens in the future, like I know things are changing right now, but a lot of video production and film production has taken like a complete like standstill during this lockdown. And there are going to be a lot of restrictions. Like one of my friends, one of my dear engineers, Karthik Kulkarni, he sent us like the Producers Guild sort of specifications for even if you are going to be on a film shoot, what are the precautions you're going to take place now if you're doing a shoot in Bombay. Like right now, I know that some
Right.
things are opening up. I know that studios, because Bombay is a big hub for media, right? There's so many studios
That's
here, and a
true.
lot of them, even if you can't actively do recordings, you can handle doing post production. So I know, like
Hmm.
audio wise, like some things are kind of like going to change and going to happen, and more people find it easier to maybe do audio production stuff, even though standard and quality will not be studio quality. But I think people are still being a little more forgiving of that at the moment. So for
Right.
now, I mean, I have like friends of mine who are voiceover artists who literally like I sit in my cupboard and do voiceovers. So like for me, I'm still able to do relatively good audio quality. And like video quality is always going to be a really tough one to be able to like figure out. But I feel like audio you can still do. I think you can still do scripted podcasts with voiceovers. You can still do stuff, right?
Right.
Interviews might be of varying quality because again, like you're doing it over the internet. And like I literally got sent this graph recently about there's like more consumption of internet, but the internet has gotten like worse.
Was.
Like so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
literally like there's like you're like there are more people on the internet, but basically your internet kind of sucks. So I'm like,
Sucks.
what is the
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
giving you more traffic, and then you're just like, yeah, we're not gonna give you any more, no more bytes for you, no more bytes. So yeah, so I think with the internet, it's always going to be a varying degree of like the quality of like the audio if you're doing recordings, what they call remote recordings.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I do think that you have to like figure out what we can do now. I think podcasting does have a future, especially in India, because we have not explored even like the tip of the iceberg of the levels of
Right.
content we could potentially be doing. Any idea that someone comes up with is a brand new idea because it has not been done before. Like
Right.
whatever it is that you decide to do, it's not been done yet. So I'm excited about just the depths of like what we could be doing. And it's not just within in English, it can be in Hindi, it can be in Marathi, it can be in Malayalam, it can be in,
True.
in Nishi, like it could be any language you can think of
Right.
across this country. And like that podcast hasn't been done before. So I think that
Wow.
like the more
That's
people, yeah, who start kind of getting into this medium and doing it, I think the more exciting it's going to be. I'm
that's
basically telling people, give me some competition, people. Do it. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. I mean, like that, just like the tip of the iceberg thing. There's so much that's like left to
Yeah.
explore. That's really cool. So speaking in like terms of like the different languages or different topics, so like what made you choose to focus on independent music per se, and
Yeah.
like you've like helped or like I mean you've given a platform to so many indie musicians to just like
Yeah.
speak about their journeys and their stories and just play their music for everyone and like yeah, what
Yeah.
made you choose that? And if any independent musician in the audience or whoever wants to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Yes, please. So some of them are on this live right now. So the thing is like I think that what bothered me a lot was that having worked for a radio station already, and not that even the radio station I was working at, it was still amazing. And the problem that I was finding was that independent music or original music that was coming out of artists like all over this country was just not being played on the radio. And maybe I'm a
Right,
little old school because I'm like 80s and 90s child. So I grew up discovering music on the radio.
right.
My mom got me a tape deck, that you had that one,
Oh,
blank cassette with the two buttons you press down and record stuff off the radio. Like that was me as a kid. That's how I used to discover
wow.
music. And so for me, I listened to music on the radio, and that's how I knew what the cool song was to listen to. And I think what has happened now is that doesn't quite exist in radio at the moment. And I also, even when I was working for Radio One, they would have an indie music show at like 10 p.m. in the night on a Thursday, just like relegated to a
Yeah,
non-peak hour. And again, I was in charge of that show and I would play, independent artists on the radio. but it was still a non-peak hour. And so I was like, man, I want to
Right.
be able to do. And when I thought of like, when I got approached to make a podcast, I was like, you know what? I should do this. I should actually like bring artists into the studio, do live sessions. Because again, these are not like BBC sound like level studios that we have like
Right.
in India. This is like really basic broadcast studios. So I would say that somewhere like an AIR might have like a much better live recording studio where you can actually record music, but it's not really the
Right.
same for a lot of private radio stations. So what I was thinking was that a lot of, and this is across the board, it is extremely expensive to record music, to record, mix, master, and release
Right.
music. It's very expensive. And so I wanted to be able to, like, for a lot of artists, like, they might not have their music recorded. So then how the hell do you listen to their music? I can't talk about music without hearing it. So that's why
That's
I
true.
would do the live sessions. I would ask artists to come into the studio, do live sessions. So you literally listen to the artist and I'm talking to them about the
That's
music you're listening to. And I also felt like I didn't want this just to be like a live gig. Like I just want to like come and do your set and leave. I thought it was
right. Of
important
course.
to talk to an artist, to understand the origin story of a song, to get where they come from, and whether it was, and I think to understand the inspiration of a song, right? I mean, I know I do this a lot. Like, I always rag like Nikhil D'Souza for all his songs being love songs, but he's just that guy. You were like, I need a sad love song. Let's go find Nikhil. So that's the thing. And because he really is good at writing like songs. Like one of my favorite songs of his lately that when we did my 200th episode and the song was called Love is a Liar. And that song like is such a haunting song. But what a
Oh
great
wow.
name of a song, A Love is a Liar. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. So my thing is that I think that artists also have the ability to make incredible music. Recording it was really difficult. Like I can give you an example of an artist who's been around for like over a decade. Alicia Pays, love the girl, but
Love
no
her. Oh
album,
my
no
god.
EP out, and she's been around for a while. And I'm so glad I got her to come on Made in India to perform her songs because she's an incredible artist. And so I do
Right.
think that like having the live session plus the interview was a really important part of like what I was doing. I also do another format of once a month I release a mixtape episode, which basically means that I will what I say, I get I guess in a lot of music. So I basically take the music, put it together, and make I do like a radio show episode where I'm like, and up next we have a song by like Saltwater and they're amazing and blah blah blah. So then I do it
Yeah.
like I would do a radio show.
Playlists.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I do a bit of both. And I just wanted to be like a hub, like a place if anyone was like, what music should I listen to? And they just go, let's go listen to Made in India. Yeah, that's how the indie
Oh
music thing
wow.
happened.
That's amazing. Wow. I mean, if I mean you just justified the whole reason for titling this episode John Mayer. Like I mean, Mae Thomas the Music Makers. Because you just spoke about how you're helping everyone, even people who don't have the facilities to record their own music, you're just
Yeah.
giving them a way to just do it. That's really awesome. Like and I love listening to your podcast. Like I just heard your final playlist Maven and
Was that
it was
so
so good.
good? So
Yeah,
good.
and loving the
Oh
May
my.
puns, by the way.
Thank you.
They're
That was
brilliant.
made by my
Yeah.
team. Thank you, Made in India team. You're awesome. So
Thank you to
yeah,
the team. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
team.
So next question. So I mean, so yeah, like in indie music now, like
Mm.
I've been to like a lot of gigs, and I've seen so many musicians who, play with like their own. A lot of them play with other bands, and everyone's just, like collaborating amongst themselves, and it's such a great, like like
Yeah.
family, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And it is so nice to see everyone supporting each other, everyone helping each other out, and
Yeah.
so so like I mean how important did you say this collaboration process is? I mean for independent
Yeah.
music, and even like
Yeah.
not just musicians, even different industries, or just
True.
collaborating with
Yeah. Yeah.
in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I definitely think collaboration is super important. I think that like working across mediums, I think working between artists as well. I've given this example before where Zoya Mohan had released an album where she took every single one of her songs and she gave it to a different producer. So she literally had like an
Oh
entire
wow.
album of songs and all of which each song was remixed by a producer. So she literally did this entire album, and whatever money that was made from that album went to a charity that was providing, I think, electricity to villages. So it was electronica. She was
Wow.
converting it to electronic music and hence electricity to like villages. So it's
Oh,
a really
wow.
interesting kind of. So I thought that was a really incredible idea. She decided to do it was she it's again a collaboration, right? But she's doing it in a way that she's asking these producers, taste one song and you can like here do with it what you will, do your remix. And she wanted whatever money that album made was her way of sort of giving that away to like to support like a charity of her choice. So I think collaboration is really important, especially now, considering the times that we
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that like collaboration is super important. I also think that there is some level of cross pollination that kind of happens. So whether if you're a well known
Right.
or a lesser known artist, I think to some extent when you collaborate with each other, it makes a huge difference for how and in what way your music goes out, right? So say if like
Right.
Divine is collaborating with someone who's maybe a lesser known artist, then you have a way to go, oh my God, I'm making this huge jump because I'm being promoted by someone like Divine. When I think that like there are different ways in which that, that works in people's favor. Because I think fresh talent gives you a different perspective. I think working with different genre artists, right? Like if you're working with a producer or you're working with someone who literally doesn't really come from the same space as you. So I think that that allows your music to maybe have a different sound. It kind of inspires you in a different
Yeah.
way. And I think that it also gives you a different perspective because I do sometimes think that you can be in a little bit of a bubble. And then the more people that you talk to, and that's why I think that what you guys are doing, this idea of collaboration makes a huge difference because the more people you talk to, the more ideas you sort of get. So if you, I think you're
Yeah.
always also, and I'm sometimes like that as well. You can be very possessive about your ideas because you're like, I don't want anyone to steal it. I don't want anyone to copy it. I don't want anyone, but like work with
Yeah.
people that maybe you trust, work with people that you respect. I think that sharing your ideas is also really important for you to be able to get feedback too. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you
Yeah.
might
Very
have
true.
some really bad idea. Not that I'm saying that people. I'm just saying that like sometimes it's nice to get some feedback. Sometimes it's nice to get, and you might truly believe in your idea. You might think that this is the greatest idea anyone has ever thought of. And then the moment someone shoots
Yeah.
you down, if you're able to, and this is another thing, people are afraid to get shot down, right?
That's
Because they're
true.
like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm so scared of criticism. No, because I think that if you have a great idea, it should either if someone doesn't understand it, then you need to be able to explain it. If someone doesn't see the longevity or understand where you're coming from, I think you should be able to defend your idea. I don't think you should be afraid of
Yeah.
like criticism unless the criticism is warranted and then you realize that maybe that's a really bad idea and you shouldn't do it. But I think collaboration is key. Collaboration really helps you across the board with not just your ideas, but it might help you even to promote stuff. So like even at this time, if you're releasing, like say an artist is releasing an album or say an artist is releasing something, just to go like, hey, I'm putting out a new song. If you like it, please promote it. And so you're giving me the choice to promote it, right? You're not saying you have to promote my album. You're like, if you
That's
like
true.
it,
Yeah.
promote it. And if I really like something, of course I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna, like new hashtag new music alert. And so yeah, so you're obviously gonna be excited about something. If you see a piece of art that you love, then you can share it. Like there is like one of my and this sounds super random, but I used to work on podcasting with a lovely comedian called Abbas Momin, and he always shares cool like art on his like Insta stories. So every time I go through his, I always feel so satisfied because I see all this like cool art stuff. And I don't know how he finds
Yeah.
it, but he does. And I think there are a lot of those, right? I think you see something and it inspires you. And that could be visual art, that could be, someone who played something on like a violin. I don't know what. But I think that all makes a difference to
Yeah.
the way you like make your like do your like have your ideas because I think we get inspired by all kinds of things. So collaboration super important to sort of help you figure out what you want to do either with promoting what you're doing or you're developing your ideas.
Yeah, very true. I agree. I mean, at the Creative Totally, that's kind of what we want to mainly focus on and promote,
Yeah.
because like so we've also seen like how important it is to collaborate, like working with different kinds of designers, working with different kinds of writers, and you just get a different perspective on
Yeah.
things that you wouldn't have thought of. Maybe someone will think of something else, maybe someone will think of
Yeah.
something that enhance what you already thought of and make it even larger and better.
Yeah.
So it's such a nice sort of thing to just collaborate and just like explore
Yeah.
in a way. And even like the environment that we create in is so important. Like you get to learn, like if someone, like how, like what you said, like how where people come from, they have different experiences, you have different experiences, and then you just like learn from each other. And yeah,
Absolutely.
that's just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so yeah, so I mean, now that you spoke about like collaboration and how it sort of gets all of our creativity going, and you learn from others,
Yeah.
do you have any maintenance tips for us, and like how to, how to stay creative, like any tips, ideas, and how to
Yeah.
maintain your creative juices?
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
I have to admit, it
may
is
pun intended.
Maypan. Maypan. So for the maintenance, no, so I have to say it's not an easy time to feel like you're being creative, right? I think everyone is going through different levels of like stress in their life, whether it's like monetary, whether it's your job, whether it's
Hmm.
just being stuck inside all the time. I think people are also figuring out their dynamics of stuff. Like, I'm lucky that I'm with family, like a lot of people might not be as lucky, and I think all of us are trying to figure out what can help them cope at this time. And I think being creative kind of helps you um assess your emotions and also lets out stuff as well, right? I think I think it's you're doing little things that sort of help you be creative, because like when you're indoors all the time, you're like staring at four walls. You're like, how can I be creative right now? And I
Yeah,
first thing
no,
is like, don't put any pressure on yourself, right? Like, don't try to make yourself feel like, hey, you know what, I have to do this thing in this much time. Like, and if I don't do it, then I'm gonna fail. Because right now it's extremely easy to beat yourself up for not doing stuff, right? It is so easy to make. I think like in the
yeah,
world, the easiest thing to do is make yourself feel bad about you. And I think the hardest thing is not to do that,
yeah,
right? Hardest thing is to actually, I cannot believe I'm saying this. The hardest thing to do is be nice to yourself. Can you believe that's the most difficult
yeah.
thing to do? Just to be nice to
Yeah,
yourself is a really tough thing to do. And I just think that I sometimes do little things, little things that might cheer me up today. Um, like I might make myself a Nutella hot chocolate. So I'm like, after lunch, I'm gonna make a Nutella hot chocolate and then I'm gonna eat it and not feel bad
that's
about it.
that's really nice.
Not feel bad and
Yeah,
just like treat myself because I felt like I wanted like a dollop of Nutella in my hot chocolate. So I think it's doing little things. I think I've also had like friends, like, sometimes you don't want to talk. Sometimes you're like tired. Like I can get, I know I talk a lot, but sometimes I get tired of talking. And I've called up friends who I can just listen to and laugh and be silly with. I also think don't put pressure on yourself also that I must keep in touch with all my friends all the time. When you
yeah,
think of someone, send them a voice note. I love voice notes. Like I'm obsessed with voice. Maybe it's because I'm an audio person. Voice notes are my jam. I'm like, WhatsApp and voice notes? You guys are crazy. So like voice notes are amazing. Like I just randomly just send a voice note to a friend because sometimes just listening to someone's voice is fun. And then you can,
yeah,
whether you're sad or happy or emotional or whatever it is, sometimes it's just nice if you don't have time to be on a call for half an hour, because sometimes I feel like I need to give that time to my friend. I want to be able to give them an hour. I want to be able to give them half an hour. But if I can't, I can send them a 4-minute voice note of just like me talking to them as
yeah,
though they were right there. So I think voice notes, messages, even commenting on each other's Instagram posts, like whatever it is, take it, give it. But I think those little things make a huge difference. I think especially at this time, because we're in some level of like solitude with each other, I think that making little special moments for yourself makes a huge difference. I think also just being able to do things that let your emotions out, right? And
Yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
friends used to do this. Like, she writes. So I was hanging out with her and I was leaving, like, she lives in Thane. I was leaving to go back to Andheri because it was late. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm just going to go to a coffee shop and write in my diary." And like in my head, I was like, that's a great idea. And like I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like it's such a simple thing. I haven't written in my diary since I was 16. So like I was like, oh my God, writing a diary? But then just, it doesn't have to be a regular thing. You don't like dear diary like every day. But it's just somewhere to like put down your thoughts, whether you're
Yeah.
upset, whether you're sad, whether you are annoyed, or whether you just want to, you thought of something silly and you're just like, oh, you know what, the other day I was thinking that like, why doesn't the hibiscus flower, like whatever you're thinking of, like you just write it all down. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I
I
agree.
feel
Yeah.
like whatever that you're like, so sometimes like whatever emotions you're going through, even if you write them down, sometimes you can look back on it. And like I've had moments like recently, and I know this sounds really odd, but I went back to like a diary. Like it was like, I think I was really angry at that time that I'd written this diary. And this was like
Okay.
barely some month, like sometime last year. I was like just annoyed at like life, and I was just like writing in this diary, like, oh my God. And then I stopped writing in the diary. I got too busy or whatever it is, and I just like didn't feel like I was writing in it. I This lockdown, I went and checked it out, and I was looking through it, and I was like, wow, I was really upset. But then I didn't want to go through those, reading those emotions that I'd gone through. It's like I'd gone past that time. So I literally like just
Yeah. Yeah.
tore it out. I usually I
Yeah.
keep all my diaries, but this was such an angry moment in my life. I didn't want to read it back again. So I just like tore it up and threw it away. And I was like, you're gone now.
Wow.
Goodbye.
Wow.
But I think like little
Catharsis
things like
has
this,
been.
I think like all these little things like treating yourself, like I said, Nutella, hot chocolate or something,
Nutella does
writing
the
in
job.
it does the job. Really. It's beautiful. It's a Nutella moment right now. But yeah,
That's
honestly, I think like all these little things makes a huge difference. Just not putting pressure on yourself, not having to like make sure that you do like I said, just be nice to yourself. Just like treat
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like don't make yourself appreciate. Because I swear to you, it's genuinely it's something that my cousin made me think about. Like I've got this incredibly smiley, happy, super positive cousin. My cousin Sid in Bangalore, and I remember when I felt like I was putting on weight, and I felt like I wasn't exercising, and like you kind of like find this way to bring yourself down. And I just remember my cousin, like when if at all, like when I was trying to keep like a diet or like just exercise regularly, and on the days that I didn't do it, I was like, oh, I didn't do it, like I didn't get this done, like what the hell, and you sort of beat yourself
Yeah.
up. And my cousin's like, it's okay, you skipped a day, just the most important thing is next day start again. You skipped a week, just
Yeah.
start it again. What's stopping?
As
Like,
simple
don't,
as that.
you'll
Yeah.
waste more energy beating yourself up about it than just moving on and just getting back to schedule. So, like, if
Yeah.
you missed a
Yeah.
week or if you missed 4 or 5 days, doesn't matter. Like, just
Hmm.
go ahead and kickstart. So, if you're wasting more energy beating yourself up for not doing something, you're wasting time literally not doing it. So, just do
Yeah.
it.
That's true.
You're like, okay, I know I haven't done this for 6 days. I'm going to start today. So just getting back on track is far better for you than just beating yourself up but not doing something. You didn't do it, you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Then just start doing it
Yeah.
tomorrow. So like that's it. Like it's literally, so like my cousin made me realize this, and it helped me out so much, just being a little less just like not beating myself up about not doing certain things. So I was like, if I didn't have time today, plan for it tomorrow, or I'll do it day after, or I'll do it on the weekend. It's okay. It's okay that you skip the day. It's okay that you
Yeah.
know, ate chocolate at 11:30 in the night. You don't eat chocolate at 11:30 tomorrow night. It's okay. And like right now, because we're already in an environment that is just not conducive for us. Like we're already in an
Yeah.
environment that is troubling us. So why do anything that makes it feel worse? You should actually be consoling yourself.
True.
You should be like, you know what, May? It's okay. You'll be fine. So like just like look in the mirror and talk
Yeah.
to yourself. I'm clearly advocating the good stuff.
No, but that's so true, and that's it's so nice how you did put it so simply, because
Thanks.
like there's no like it's just simple ideas, simple tips, and it's just not complicated. It's just as simple as okay, it's okay, you know. Like
Yeah.
these small little things are also so important to just know and to just believe in. Like what you said, it's so true. And even like in terms of getting like at least in these times, all of us creative people were like stuck in like four walls, and you know like it's like the
Yeah.
highest chance of having a creative block. Like I have been going through one since the past 2 3 days. I just can't think, you know.
I hear
And
you.
every time you just like you just have to like adapt and like get inspired by everything. Like you know every
Yeah.
small thing you see, maybe watch some
Honestly,
show and
same.
then you get like
And then
inspired
you get
by it,
inspired. I
stuff like that.
literally, I'm not
Yeah.
even kidding. I'm going to show you something super random. I don't know if you can see it. This is sometimes when I'm like, I think my partner Sean is here, and we usually are always having a tussle about something or the other. So like sometimes when I'm listening, I'm either like I'm doodling on my notepad. So I'll usually doodle on my notepad, and some of them are happy, like doodling, and some of them I'm going to show you like an angry doodle. This was
Oh
like
my
an
God.
I was an angry doodle.
Wow.
So
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like so annoyed. I was like, ugh, ugh. And it
Or
looks
the
like,
lines are
and
just
then like
like,
when I look at it now, I'm like, it looks like barbed wire, right?
yeah. Oh my
Right?
God,
So I was
yeah.
like, wow, my angry doodle looks
Wow.
like barbed wire. So yeah, that's what angry doodling looks like.
Wow. Maybe any art therapists in the audience have might have something
Can
to
tell
say
me
about
what
that.
does it mean?
What it means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So
But
yeah,
that's so true. Like I mean, yeah, like just like getting inspired by anything you see
yeah.
and
You can
just
get
trying
inspired
to,
by an angry moment also.
yeah, of course.
There's Sean. He's literally put like a meditative emoji. Zen emoji.
Zen. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's yeah. This is like hilarious. Okay, but yeah. So these are some interesting tips and really helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's just saying it's okay is something I feel everyone should
Yeah.
just remember, and just don't be too hard on yourself. That's
It's a
very
tough
good.
thing to
Yeah.
do, but you gotta start somewhere. Now that
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
I'm always like, it's never too late, man. You can start now. Never, you don't like, oh, I should have done this ages ago. No, you can do it now. It's okay.
Also, we had Sean mentioned something earlier when you spoke about recording audio in the cupboard, in your cupboard. So he's like, "How big is your cupboard?" Now, even I'm kind of curious to know how big is your cupboard that you can record audio in it.
So my brother taught me how to do this. So I don't have a very big cupboard. It's just like standard size cupboard. But the thing is like, I have like a hanging, like, so yeah, I have like shelves at the bottom, and then I have like one bigger open part at the top. So I have piles of clothes, right? So what my brother taught me to do is that he was like, just put a pillow at the back because the sound will reflect off the wood in the back.
Right,
And then just like
right.
put your head in, put the mic like near your face, shut the doors from behind you, and then I'm like, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh my
welcome to Maed In
God!
India. You're listening to me, May, and today I'm going to be playing you prog rockers from Thane, Corner Cafe Chronicles. Like that's literally like what I do.
Wow, that's some interesting jugaad. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, my brother is like a sound engineer, and he used to do sound design like for films, and he makes
Oh,
podcasts with
right.
Indian Express right now. So I can always hear him
Wow.
editing all the time. And I know I'm doing subtle plug, but my brother just released an album. His name is Tiger Babu. E is a three.
Wow.
Please go check it out. It's also cool. So my brother's also a coder. So it's an open source album, so that the different instrumentation in the album is also code, so you can copy paste the
Oh,
code
wow.
and use that. Yeah, yeah, it's so
Oh my
cool.
God, that is
I'm
so cool.
not even as cool as my brother.
Wow. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
my brother codes and makes music. I was like, that's wait, damn it, my brother's cooler than me. God damn it.
I mean, it's okay.
You have a brother.
We're all
It's so
different.
bugging.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, my brother is like a designer and a lawyer and like a lot of other things, and here I am just with my design degree, just sitting. So, so yeah, I
Yeah,
get what you mean.
I feel it. I'm always just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
but my brother gives great advice, so I'm happy.
yeah, yeah. That's true. Elder brother's like, is he elder or younger?
Younger. I don't
Oh
know.
wow.
I don't know if
Okay.
I give good advice, but definitely like when I talk to my brother, sometimes he has moments of genius where I'm just like, oh, yeah,
Wow. And that's a great expression. I really
yeah.
like that. So I'm seeing a really interesting backdrop behind you. Is that hand painted?
I don't know. So, this is like, so talking about cool people in my family. My mom is super cool. She got me this curtain. I genuinely don't know where she got it from, but I have loved it. Like, so she had put it up in my room, and I was like, "What is this curtain? It's so freaking cool." And honestly, I genuinely don't know where she got it from, but it's super psychedelic. And it
Yeah.
like so when the sunlight comes through, it also is this like sort of pinky hue, and I think that's like Audrey Hepburn, like there, and like
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. So like it's like
That
all
is
these like
really cool.
silhouettes of like women, and I love it. I love this curtain, and my mom
Yeah.
has always got like random things that she'll give me because she knows I like colorful things and bright things, and so yeah, this is like one of my all-time favorites. My favorite. Like you would
Wow.
never be able to find a curtain like this. This is like so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly that's why it caught my eye
It's like
like when we
you can go to
started.
Fab India and find this. So
That's true. That's true. This is really cool. It's
yeah.
a
Thanks
very,
to my
very,
mom.
very nice touch to this life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're at the almost at the end of our discussion.
Yeah.
So do you have anything you'd like to say, or do you want to start with some questions if people have any?
Yeah, if anyone has any
Um,
questions, happy to answer. But yeah, it's been like super fun. And I, yeah, so it was so funny. And I know I'm like giving a little bit away right now. So Vanesti was talking to me about like a little earlier, we did like a tech check. And she was asking me about, I've mugged up the questions. I'm not going to look at my paper. And I was like, and this is the thing, like we were talking about putting pressure on yourself. I'm like, why? I was like, I have a notebook with
yeah,
me like all the time. I was like, in all my
yeah,
interviews, I always have a piece of paper because my memory is not that good. And so I have to like write things down because I'll forget. And so all my questions, like when I'm hosting, all my questions are in front of me because I always feel like if you end up having like a technical problem or something goes wrong, even if you remember all your questions, it's just nice to have the security blanket of your questions being with
yeah,
you really helps you. Plus, like, I'm sure you've seen Jimmy Fallon, you've seen Stephen Colbert, you've seen those guys. Have you never seen them
yeah.
with a card in front of them
Cards,
with the
yeah.
questions? If the biggest hosts in the world have card in front of them with questions, what does it matter? You don't need to mug anything. Please don't. They have
That's
teleprompters. They literally have like a prompter in front of them where
yeah.
they're reading stuff off the prompter. So please don't ever worry about like whether you have notes in your hand. It's
I'm
fine.
gonna
If
make my
someone
brother the prompter next time.
yeah, he can hold up the stuff. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like you
okay.
never have to feel guilty about having a like, oh no, I have to mug up my questions, otherwise I look bad. No one is going to care whether you have literally, like I said, the biggest hosts in the world are holding up. They have a
Yeah.
card where they have the questions written down that Stephen Colbert is asking Nicki Minaj from card questions only. So don't worry if you have to ask. So that's why, like earlier when you asked me, like, I've mugged up the questions. I'm like, why? Keep notebook beside you. It's okay. Even if you remember
Yeah.
all of it, it's fine. But yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, like, I don't think that the props that you need that'll help you like figure out stuff, even if they're rituals that you like to do to make yourself like feel good or whatever, just do it. Like a lot of the time when I used to go on stage, because if I'm hosting something, it happens to me that like a lot of people are giving me a lot of information at once. You just sit here, to stand there, put this on the side, stand on the side of the curtain, put the curtain like this, or do this, do that. Michael hold here, then this guy will come. But I like just like 2 minutes before I go on, or like 5 minutes before I like to just like zone out.
Zone
I like
out.
to like just like 5 minutes of peace before I go on. But some people like the chaos. Some people like the pressure of like, but I like a little bit of peace just before I go on. Because then it clears my head,
Yeah.
then I can think about stuff a little bit, and then I go on stage. But yeah,
Right.
always. So yeah, so my only advice is yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. And if you need to keep a notepad next to you, do it. If you if you wanna hold like your bunny when you go on stage and be like, this is my bunny, it's my lucky bunny, like do it. Doesn't matter. People think you're a little weird, but there's powers going on in this world, dude.
I
I'm
mean,
holding a
I
bunny.
mean, weirdness is like I think it's really cool. So I mean, let them think like they're weird.
I'll make
So
sure I
that's
hold my
okay.
bunny on stage.
Yeah,
My
if
bunny.
needs be.
But yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, do we have any questions? Like I
No one
don't know if
cares.
we've
No one,
missed
no one ever
any.
wants to ask. I've told everyone everything. I've told them all the details of my life. They're done now.
Everyone just knows everything now.
Yeah, they know it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people that I know on this, so it's great. I'm really happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, do like I mean, I know Vanessa's been really sweet to promote like the show and stuff like that. But if you want, do check out Made in India. That's Maed. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and go to any podcast app of your choice. That's like Apple, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, and Maed in India. You can find us there and like come and say hi. DM us if you have music. Like, I'm always happy when people get in touch. I'm just like, get in touch with us if you need anything.
Yeah,
Podcasting,
and
music,
please
whatever.
definitely check out this podcast. I mean, as May said, you can listen to it whenever, even when you're doing a business or when you're cooking or doing
Business.
anything,
Maybe business
exercising
time means
also.
something very differently for you. Doing a business.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. I think it's like the go-to place for indie music just to discover like new music, really, really cool homegrown stuff. And I have found so many artists from your podcast that,
Mm.
people that have like even been to the gigs for later and so many like people like just
Wow.
just such nice music. Yeah, like such nice music. And it's so cool to see how much India actually has in store. Like it is crazy.
Really. My
Like you
brother
you've
used to tell
crossed,
me
I
that, yeah.
think, yeah, you've crossed like 200 episodes. Like how many? Like that's insane.
I
So,
know. It's a lot of
so
artists.
yeah, yeah,
And
so
now
many.
more
Wow,
music is
and
releasing now than ever before. So there's a lot of music out
yeah,
there.
and everyone's just getting creative, and there's so many more that are still undiscovered. So just like, it's unimaginable to think.
It's
Yeah,
true.
Maya is on the hunt now,
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to
Always
find
on the
more
hunt. Always
music.
looking for awesome new music. Send it to us. Send it to me.
Yes, please do, guys. And then
But
everyone
yeah,
also get to hear it, the whole country,
for
and maybe the
sure.
world, hopefully, too. But
Are we
yeah,
saying bye
so
now?
yeah. So guys, please follow the Creative Toli as well if you want to collaborate with more people and just get to know, uh, yeah, just get to know more people and collaborate with different creative industries. Like literally any creative industry is welcome to sign up with us for free. And yeah, just start creating, and we will just like to leave a quick note saying that these are the times to just learn and grow with others and with
It's
yourself.
true.
So you guys can definitely check us out, and
Even if you
yeah, and we
wanna,
also have
even if you wanna do an angry doodle while you're
yeah.
sitting on a Zoom
Oh my
call,
God.
do it.
That's perfect. Yeah. And we have a really cool talk on Sunday as well. We've got someone talking to us about something completely new, which is dance movement therapy, which is really
Nice.
cool. So yeah, please tune in for that as well. And yeah, I guess we're done for today. And if anyone has any questions, we'll be happy to answer them later as well. If anyone
Yeah.
missed the live, see the IGTV, like no problems. So yeah, that's perfect. So you can reach out to May or to us. And yes,
Yay.
see you guys. Bye.
Thanks,
See you.
Vanessa.
Take care. No
Bye.
problem. Thanks for coming on. Bye. Thank you so much. Stay safe.